All right, guys, here we go. Round number 2. Ready to run sportsmen. You guys are up. Bobby Ifrady, Jason Wagner, Matt, and Don. There you go, Don. And Matt.
That is Deborah's. Jordan Deborah, that's Deborah's daughter.
Turn marshals are going to be drivers from race number 4.
What up, Mikey? Hey, you got any retires for my drag guy, the dummy? I should have bought all 10 sets, remember? Now he's like, can you get retires? Yeah, you're going to pay for it this time. I'm not going to come looking for you. Oh, I'll let you know. There you go. I put no effort into it. I didn't even call you, right? I see cash first from now on, then I'll call you. Really? Diff bearings, what side is big ones? You have the book?
I know the bearings are, I just don't know.
Right here, she's a new worker, Thursdays and Saturdays. Hey, you read the associated book? Yeah, he'll give you the part number. These guys already have it in their phone. Oh, no way, she's quick. I don't care what you guys say about it. You racing Saturday, Mike? Well, you'll be back in time.
All right, here we go. We guys got to get a couple guys checked in. I just need Matt to check in. Matt Vogel.
Girlfriend? Ah, fuck, he's smiling again. I hate it when he smiles. Jesus Christ. That just means racing gone. Wait, what happened?
Hold on. Go across the line again. Hold on, guys. Hold on. All right, I need Matt Vogel and only Matt Vogel. Okay, there's Matt. And I need Don to check in. Don. There we go. We're all checked in. All right, guys, bring him to the back straight.
When he has that crooked smile, Jeremy, then you know it's a be bad.
All right, here we go. Race number 1, round number 2. Jason Wagner right now has the early TQ with 10 laps and 4 something. I don't know. I think it's 4:15. Yeah, something like that. Sorry.
Yeah.
10 laps and 4:21. That's the time to beat. All right, Jason Wagner, Bobby, you're going to be going first. So, Bobby, he's just practicing. He's just running this race. Here we go. Just for practice. Bobby, you're going on the horn in less than 5. Jason. Matt.
That's too young, man. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Don. And we are off race number 1 out of 4. Let's see what happens. As soon as you guys get a couple laps down, I'll go in the race order. And right now we got 1 down, less than 3 to go. It's Jason Wagner right now, your leader on a 10.401 pace. Don Daniel right now in the second on 8.417, and Matt in the third on an 8.421. Bobby right now on a 10-lap 403 pace. He had a last lap of a 22.2. Jason Wagner right now, last lap 25.8. Don last lap 35.1. Matt 38.2.
Good, man. I'll see you soon. Bye. Died? Yeah, I've been to helicopters.
And Matt right now and Don are battling out for that second and third position. Don right now in that second spot on an 8-lap 4:13 pace. Matt in the third on an 8-lap 4:22. .130 on the clock. Up next will be Independent Stock Buggy. You guys know who you are.
Computer?
Do we have what?
Do you know what these
No,
would be?
yeah, those are 4, and the small one's 2.
Okay, so I'm gonna manually put them in?
Yeah, I think he has the actual thing next to it, has a bearing.
I know he's got a thing that says ball bearing,
That's it,
large,
that's it,
and then
that's it.
small.
Yep, that's
Okay.
it. Yep.
And right now we got 45 seconds to go. 45 seconds to go. It is Jason Wagner right now still leading them on. 30 seconds on the clock. Five seconds. Race is over. Keep going until I tell you you're done. John, you're done. Bobby, you're done. Matt, you're done. And here comes Jason. And everybody's done. Jason taking a victory, 10-4-26. Still holds the TQ from round number 1 with 10 laps 4:21. Don coming in the second spot with 8:4:02. Matt coming in the third, 8 laps 4:15. And Bobby finishing that race, 11 laps 4:22. I will need a volunteer term marshal for this race. Thank you, buddy. Arnell, you're the man. Arnell, you're the man. I don't care what Enid says about you when you're not here. Thank you, buddy. It's Don, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, it's no big deal, but it's John, not Don.
Oh, okay. It says Don here. Okay, I'll
No
fix
big
it.
deal.
I'll fix it. No problem.
I'll answer anything, even ask.
All right, just waiting for Keith and Scott to check in. And everybody's checked in. You guys can bring them to the back line. All right, this is the second round of qualifying. Time to beat is 15 and 5:23 set by Scott Setzer in round number 1. So that is the time to beat. We'll wait till them to get to catch up. And here we go. Independent stock buggy, we're off. Race number 2, round number 2. Scott Setzer, you are going on the horn in less than 5. Jason Hall and Ian Organic, Keith Shivers, and Bobby Ifrady. All right, for any spectators out there, this is just the second round of qualifying. They're racing against the clock, not each other, so they're all going individually. Next round will be the mains, where everybody will be racing against each other. That'll be fun. 4:30 on the clock, 30 seconds down. Once you guys get a couple laps down, I'll go in the race order. And right now we got one down and we got less than 4 to go. Bobby Ifrady right now your leader on a 15.517 pace. Bobby Ifrady right now 4 seconds ahead of that TQ from round number 1. Jason Hall right now in the second on a 14.510 pace. Scott Setzer in the third on a 14.512. Keith Shivers in the fourth on a 14.516. Ian Organic in the fifth on a 13.511. 3:35 to go on the clock. Bobby Ifrady last lap 20.6. Jason Hall 20.6 as well. Scott Setzer last lap 21.5. Keith Shivers last lap 21.7. Ian Organic 24.6. And Bobby Ifrady now on a 15.515 pace, 8 seconds right now ahead of that TQ. Jason Hall on a 14.502. Keith right now 4 seconds back off that second spot behind Jason Hall on a 14.506 pace. Scott Setzer now in the third. Jason Hall down in the fourth. Keith Shivers with a 19.7 new fast lap. And right now, 2:15 to go. Scott Setzer now your leader on the 21, last lap, 21.1. Bobby Ifrady down in the second. Bobby Ifrady right now 1/10 of a second off that leader behind Scott. Both Scott and Bobby right now on a 14.504 pace. Jason Hall now moves up into the lead with a new fast lap of a 19.7. And he just beat out Keith's 19.7 by 1/10 of a second. Up next will be race number 3. That will be Pro Stock Buggy. And we got 45 seconds to go, guys. 45 seconds to go. Jason Hall right now is the leader, 15 and 5:17. Jason Hall 4 seconds ahead of that TQ with 35 seconds to go. Scott Setzer 14.508. Bobby Ifredi 14.508. Man, Scott and Bobby battle out for that position. They're right now 1/10 of a second apart from each other. Ian Ganick on a 14.517. Keith on a 13.502. 20 seconds to go. And Jason Hall right now is the leader, and he with 15 seconds to go, he is right now 8 seconds ahead of that TQ from round number 1. Let's see if Jason can set that TQ with 8 seconds to go. Race is over. Keep going until I tell you you're done. Scott, you're done. Jason, you're done. Bobby, you're done. Ina, you're done. And Keith, everybody's done. Jason Hall takes the victory, setting the TQ, 15 and 5:15. Bobby Ifredi, 14.507. Scott, 14.507. Ina Ganick, 14.514. And Keith, 13.515. Good race. Jason Hall setting the TQ. Good job. All right, just waiting for Mason to check in. All right, everybody's checked in. Turn marshals. All right, we're all set to go. Here we go. Stock buggy, race number 3 out of 4. Time to beat is 16 and 5:15, set by Mason McCombs in round number 1. So that's the time to beat. Mason McCombs, you are going on the horn in less than 5. Vince. Kyle. James Tate. Danny. And we're off. Race number 3 out of 4. Let's see what happens. Remember the time to beat, 16:5:15. Hey, Matt, could you hang these two up? Hey, thanks, buddy. And right now we got one down, less than 4 to go. It is right now Mason McComb still holding that TQ. Setting right now ahead of the TQ by 1 second, 16.514. Vince, 15.505. Kyle Newhouse, 15.515. Danny in the 4, 15.517. Danny right now is 2 seconds back off behind Kyle for that third position. James Tate in the 5th, 13.503. Mason McComb setting a new fast lap, 18.9 in lap number 4, which is the last lap around. Mason is your leader right there in the all white. And that was him upside down there. And right now he is 3 seconds back now with that crash behind that TQ. Vince right now on a 15.504. Kyle on a 15.509. Kyle right now 5 seconds back behind Vince for that second spot. Danny in the 4, 15.518. And James Tate 14.510. We got 2 down, less than 3 to go. Kyle Newhouse, new fast lap in lap number 6 with a 19.6, breaking that 19 mark. Vince McMahon, fast lap 19.6 in lap number 6. I'm sorry, 19.9 in lap number 1 for Vince. Now down in the 3rd. Kyle now up into the 2nd spot. And Kyle right now 4 seconds back off that leader behind Mason McCombs. Mason on a 15.501 pace. Kyle on a 15.505. Vince on a 15.516. Danny on a 15.519. Danny right now 6 seconds back behind Vince for that 3rd spot. And James Tate on a 14.505. Vince, new fast lap 19.7 in lap number 8, which is his last lap around. Less than 2 to go. And Kyle Newhouse now up into the lead, 19.1 last lap around. Mason 23.7. Vince 19.5. Danny 21.5. And James Tate 20.5. We got 1:35 to go. Up next will be Stock Stadium Truck. You guys know who you are. Kyle Newhouse last lap 19.4, Mason 19.2, Vince 24.2, Danny 20.4. Danny right now 2 seconds back behind Vince for that 3rd spot. James Tate 19.9 last lap. He's on a 14.502 pace, so we got less than 1 to go. There you go, bud. And Mason with a new fast lap in lap number 12 with an 18.8, and he is 2 seconds back behind Kyle for that lead. Remember, time to beat 16.515. That's Mason's early TQ in round number 1.
Hold on to the back.
30 seconds to go. All the spectators, you guys might want to stick around for the next round. That's when they're going to be racing against each other. It'll be pretty fun to watch. Also, remember the big race, J Concept Super Cup, July 13th. Race is over. Keep going until I tell you you're done. Mason, you're done? James Tate, you're done. Vince, you're done. Kyle, you're done. And waiting for Danny. And track is hot, guys. Track is hot. And everybody's done. Mason McCombs takes in victory, 15.502. Buddy still holds the TQ from round 1, 16.515. Kyle Newhouse in the second, 15.510. Vince, 15.513. Danny, 15.518. James Tate, 14.506. All right, that is it for race number 3. Right now is the last race of the second round. This is the last round of qualifying. This will be Stadium Truck. Hey, Matt. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Guys, if anybody lost a pair of glasses on the track, they're right here. I don't know if anybody lost a pair of reading glasses or something, but I have them right here. After this race, we'll have Allie go down in the concession, open up concession for food and snack or drinks and snacks. Remember, guys, Saturday will be Superstar Saturday doubleheader. It's going to be a huge race day. We got off-road in the morning. Race registration will start at 11. Race will start at 12. And loose dirt oval in the back. Race registration there will start at 4:30. Racing will start at 5:30. Kyle and the crew, we're getting the track ready today. He's an experienced Bobcat operator. All right, just waiting for, there's Keith right there. All right, as soon as he gets checked in, let's bring him all to the straight, guys. We'll bring him back to the back straight. All right, let's bring him onto the back. All right, guys, here we go. Race number 4 out of 4. Stock truck. Time to beat is 15 laps in 5:18, set by Keith Shivers in round number 1. As soon as Keith Shivers comes on up, he'll be the first one to go. And come on, Keith, I'm just going to start. Here we go. It's Keith, lesson 5. Vince. Scott. Ina, Don, and Jason. And we are off. Race number 4 out of 4, round number 2. Remember, time to beat 15-5-18, set by Keith in round 1. Once you guys get a couple laps down, I'll go in the race order. One down and less than 4 to go. It is Vince right now in the lead on a 14.502 pace. Keith Shivers on a 14.503. Keith right now Keith now moves up into the lead. Vince but took it right back. Vince on a 15.521. He is 3 seconds off that TQ. Keith on a 14.502 pace. Scott on a 14.515. Jason on a 12.510. Ian Organic in the 5th on the 12.511, and Don on 11.525 with 3:15 to go. And Keith Shivers took the lead right back. And Keith and Vince right now battling it out for that TQ. Keith in the second, 15.520. 1 second off that lead. Vince on a 15.519. 1 second off the TQ. Vince last lap 20.8. Keith 20.5. Scott Setzer last lap 23.2. Ina 22.4. Jason Wagner 24.6. And Don 29.7. 2:45 to go. Vince now in the lead. Now down to a 14.503. Keith on a 14.511. Right now, your top three, Scott Setzer 14.517. You guys right now are 1 lap off behind that TQ with 2:30 to go. Vince last lap 24.1, Keith 23.7, Scott 21.5, Jason Wagner 22.5, Ina 23.9, and Don right now on a 9-lap 4:25 pace, and right now we're at that 2-minute mark. Vince, right now you're a leader on a 14.503 pace. Scott 14.513. Keith on a 14.516. That's your top three. Ina in a 4.12.511. Jason 12.525. And Don 9.523. We got less than 1 to go. Vince last lap 20.1. Scott 22 flat. Keith 26.9. And then he follows it up with a 20.8. Ina 23.4. Jason 37.7. And Don 34.6. 45 seconds to go. 30 seconds. And Vince now on a 5:21 pace. He's 3 seconds off that TQ with 20 seconds to go. Let's see what happens. And now 2 seconds. Oh, and that crash right there.
I just have that stock one, I'm sure. You want to add some on it? Going on live. Why would you want to change the stock when you're crazy?
5 seconds.
Well, what oils come with?
Race is over. Keep going until I tell you you're done. Vince, you're done. Keith, you're done. Ina, you're done. Scott, you're done. And there comes... There's Jason, and there comes Don. Vince taking the victory, 14.506, and Keith Shivers holds the TQ from round one with 15.518. Keith Shivers in the second, 14.516. Scott, 14.520. Ina, 12.503. Jason, 12.516. And Don, 9.519. All right, guys, that is it for round number 2. Track is open for practice at 9 o'clock. We will be going into the mains. What happened?
Everything happened. We're having to run across the race. I mean, across the track. You got people in that don't need to be in there.
We'll have to get him next time, man. That's the only thing I could do. I have to fix it next time. There's Is Allie with anybody?
She's down.
Okay. All right, Allie's down there in concession, so if anybody wants something to eat, go for snacks and drinks, go now. All right, guys, I'm going to go outside, and we'll be back at 9 o'clock. We'll be starting the mains. After Bobby gets done blowing it off, the track will be open for practice for a few minutes, and then we'll get going.
So what do you want to do? You got something cooking there, or you want to go out, or what? Guess who came here? Guess who came here? What's the guy that works at Toby Kill? What's his name? Nelly or huh?
Mike Steele.
Mike Steele's name, right? So yeah. Let's go. If you want to come up, then we'll go to whatever. So, did you have your talk finally with David?
All right, guys, here we go. Here we go. The finals, the mains. Ready to run, sportsmen. You guys will be up. That will be Bobby, Jason, Don, and Matt.
I don't know. I didn't know. I'm this close to finding his text.
Because last I heard, I don't know if you want it, you might want to say, hey, bring me my dinner. You know, it doesn't run. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if it runs.
There you go. And you want to get? Yeah, there's Don. He's the one in yellow right there.
You know what? When he tells them, text them, he says, "Oh, don't worry about having to stand in line, or you won't, stand in line at the most people."
Is the shop going to be closed? 9 o'clock.
Yes, the shop's closed now.
Shop is closed, guys. The hobby shop is closed.
I don't have to pay for my stuff.
Exactly. But I mean, I don't want to take you guys into something. Just do what you got to do. Get it right. Get it back to me. If you don't want to pay me the $500, you said. I'm going to find a text. The reason why I can't find it so easy is because my
Oh, he
phone.
said it wasn't running.
He just told me. He said it's not running.
Well, it's probably because he ain't. I know the last hurricane we had, or whatever the hell it was like
2 years ago.
a year and a half ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
It wasn't running, but he got it running because it was just a carburetor.
Right, of course, they're all gummed up. So you can go online and buy a carburetor for $16, right? Go a whole new carb on there and get it fired right up.
All right, term marshals from race number 4.
That's what I said. If you
He's
want
gonna push me. No, he's gonna push me. I don't want to go get a car that thing doesn't run. I want the extension cord, my gas can. I want everything. If not, I'll just take him to court. That's all. I'll spend the $300 in car cost. They're gonna have to pay it anyway. I just hate this shit. You know how to shut that down? Oh, I can't do it.
I'm waiting for people to check in. All right, I need my term marshals out there. I need one more.
I went earlier, but it wasn't like I could tell it wasn't done, but it just sat there.
All right, guys, slow them down, slow them down, slow them down. I need to get a couple people checked in. I need Don to check in. Is Don out there yet?
You have one little squirt of pee left, and that means you're done. Does that happen anyway?
Don and only Don, or John. I'm sorry, John.
When I sit there and
All right, there's John and Matt.
But like I can sit there and cut one off, and I'm like, okay, if I don't pee, that little pee, I sit like you're doing right now. I feel crappy, and then I'm gonna pee in a few minutes.
I used to sit there and, but you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
You'll have
like it's
hemorrhoids
shit
bad
back
when you get.
All right, there's Matt, and just waiting for Bobby. Don't worry about Bobby.
So now when I go in there.
All right, guys, we're gonna get him gridded up right now.
I go in.
Bobby, as soon as you check in, you can just do whatever you got to do. All right, in that very first spot today, with the qualifier, Jason Wagner in that very first spot.
If I go pee, I can go while I'm peeing and get them both thrown out the way. And then there's like a few times where I can go, stop.
All right, in the second spot, it's going to be John Daniels.
And then I sit there.
On that second line there, John.
I don't know, but
You gotta do. You gotta eat more fiber.
there's so much shitty problems.
Fuck the milk. Milk was the worst. I mean, literally,
Your diet has a lot to do with those.
And then
In that third spot, it's going to be Matt Vogel.
what I just said.
or like Walmart, like I could sit there and I'll be walking around, whatever, and then I'll be like, oh,
All right,
I gotta eat.
we're all set.
And I'll sit
All right, guys, here we go. Let's see if Jason Wagner can pull the TQ and win. Let's see what happens, and then Bobby, we'll just go over your times as you're running. All right, guys, here we go. Ready to run, sportsman. Everyone on the horn in less than 5.
Maybe nobody close this down.
And we are off. And let's see what happens. Oh, we got a wreck right there. Oh, what's going on? And there we have a battle right there. Let's see who is leading them on right there. Oh, something's going on down there. And there's Bobby right there. There's Jason Wagner right there in the lead on that with that yellow, blue, and black. And John Daniels in the short course right there in the second spot. Matt Vogel in the other buggy. He's in the third. Oh, and they get tangled up right there. That's for Turn marshals, when you crash, you just wait. I mean, I'm sorry, drivers, when you crash, just wait for the turn marshal to get you. Bobby Hyfredy right now on 11 lap 402 pace. Bobby, your last lap was a 22.9. Jason Wagner right now in the lead. Uh-oh, we might have a... And John Daniels right there. Oh, and Matt Vogel right there in the second. Oh, and it's crashing right there. There goes Jason Wagner leading him on. Bobby Hyfredy just going around all the carnage. 2:30 on the clock. Remember, guys, slow is fast. And right now we got less than 2 to go. Less than 2 to go. It's Jason still in the lead. Matt right there in the second. And John Daniels right there in the third.
No, that Mary Notes is a Mary Notes. There's Mary Notes, and then there was, what was that other one over there?
1:30 to go. Up next will be Independent Buggy. Jason Wagner still right there in the lead. Bobby, right now, you're on a 12-lap 420 pace in this 4-minute race. And right now, last lap for Bobby Hyfredy, 22.8. He has a fast lap of a 22.2 in lap number 4. He's just right now running for times, getting that short course dialed in for the Super Cup. And right now we got 1 minute to go.
Yeah, I think it was May 1st. I haven't played there since about May. I played one time. We went to.
It is Jason right now still in the lead, Matt in the second, and John Daniels in the third. 30 seconds.
Well, that guy's got so much money.
I think most of his market kind of went spinning it for a while.
Well, he was trying to sell houses. Yeah. A lot, so they didn't sell enough. I think it was just possibly too much.
10 seconds.
On the north side of that road, there are houses. So across from Michelle, there's a house that just not finished.
Oh, that,
Put the
yeah.
driveway in, and all that.
There's some
is-
nice houses, but
Like, really?
I think he was just that guy's got a lot of money.
What's wrong with that?
Race is over. When you cross, you're done.
He's gonna lose his ass on it, but
Bobby, you're going to finish this race with 11 laps, 405. Last lap around 23.9. Matt Vogel coming in that second spot. And Jason Wagner taking the TQ win. Matt Vogel taking the second, and John Daniels taking the third.
Only the sweet people.
I got something for you. Take this out there. It's like looking at the sun. It'll bother you again.
I'm not gonna be able to race. I can't see it. I get that from
Like
Billy
dating
Birds.
names
My
or
wife,
the
Peter.
drive better.
I just
Or whatever.
Light up the whole tent, I think.
What was that?
We can light up the whole tent.
Yeah, really. I already pooped. You know when you sit down and you feel like it's sitting there and it clamps everything up? That's what it's doing right now.
All right, going to need a volunteer turn marshal for this race. I guess
Right here, Dan. My wife's.
You know, there's no such, there's no secret you want.
thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I'll take one of them.
What?
What? What is it? Thank you.
I finally ate
All right, all my drivers are checked in. Let's see, I need another turn marshal, guys. I need one more turn marshal. We're going to get him gridded up right now. Right in the corner over there, that'd be great.
So,
Thank you, buddy.
how many stores did hit down Orlando?
All right, here we go. Let's get him gridded up, guys. All right, in that very first spot today with a qualifying time of 15 and 5:15. In that very first spot is going to be Jason Hall. In the second spot is going to be Scott Setzer. In the third, Bobby Ifredi. In the fourth, Ina Ganick. And in that final spot, Keith Shivers.
I don't know if it's the same business. I don't follow.
All right, we're all. All right, we're good to go. All right, guys, turn marshals, watch your corners, drivers ready, turn marshals are ready. Let's see if Jason can pull the TQ and win. Here we go. Indy, stock buggy, everyone on the horn. Less than 5. And we are off. And that's Jason Hall right there in the lead. And it looks like Scott Setzer right there in the second, Bobby Ifredi in the third, Keith Shivers in the fourth, Ina Ganick in that fifth. Or Ina Ganick, I'm sorry, in the third. My bad.
42.
And there comes your leader right there. That is Jason Hall coming out racing not too long ago, and he has been getting more dialed and dialed. Probably going to be going to pro stock here soon. We got one right there on the pipes, and that was Ina Ganick. Now she is down into fifth with that crash. It is Scott Setzer right there in the second. Oh, it looks like Bobby Ifredi is out. So it is Keith Shivers right there in the third. Ina Ganick in the fourth. Ina right there coming up right behind Keith. Oh, Keith crashed. So Ina Ganick now moves up into the they both get tangled up. And Ina Ganick right there is right behind Keith. There's your battle for the third spot. Jason Hall right now way up at front. He is dialed. Ina Ganick all over Keith Shivers. There's a battle right there. Oh, and Keith upside down right there in the middle. And Ina Ganick now moves up into the third. Scott Setzer right there holding strong in his second position. Trying to catch Jason Hall, which Jason Hall, unless something happens, he's going to probably pull this TQ and win today. Less than 3 to go, and there he is. But Scott Setzer, though, starting to catch. Jason Hall right there is coming down that back straight. Ina Ganick right there in the third. Keith Shivers right there, right behind Ina, trying to make the move, trying to get back up in the third. Oh, Ina upside down. And they get both tangled up. Oh, and Keith Shivers now moves up into the third. Oh, Keith waits. That's good sportsmanship right there. Good race etiquette. Sometimes if it's a fluke like that, you just wait for the driver. Let's keep going. And right now we're coming up on that 2-minute mark. Wow, Jason Hall on a 5-minute race on a 16:508 pace. He is dialed. And they both, him and Ina, have like the same color car, so I get confused. I mean, it's a little different, but still the same color concept. And that is Jason Hall right there. Your leader, Scott Setzer, right there in the second. Keith Shivers in the third. Ina right there, right behind him. Up next will be Stock Buggy race number 3. Scott Setzer both on a Scott Setzer right now, 10 seconds off that leader. Slowly, he is catching. He's about a half a track behind right now with 10 seconds off of Jason Hall. 1 minute to go. Ian Organic right there, right behind Keith, trying to make the move, trying to get up in the third. There's and Ian Organic now moves up into the third. Keith Shivers was in that crash right there, upside down. Scott Setzer is catching. Let's see if he can do it with 35 seconds to go. Let's see what happens. But Jason Hall right now dialed. Scott Setzer still 10 seconds behind Jason for that lead. 20 seconds to go. And Keith now coming up right behind Ian Organic. There's your leader right there. And then Scott, your second place driver in the all blue, right there coming down that back straight. This will be the last lap. Race is over. When you cross, you're done. Ian Organic taking the third. Keith Shivers in fourth. And there he is, taking the TQ and win, finishing the race, 16:5:07. Jason Hall, what a run for Jason. Scott Setzer coming in that second spot, 16:5:16, just 9 seconds off. Ian Organic taking the third, and Keith Shivers taking the fourth. Good race. All right, stock buggy. Hey Mel, how you feeling? All right, everybody's checked in. Turn marshals are out there. All right, let's get them gridded up. All right, guys, in that very first spot today with a qualifying time of 16:5:15 in round number 1, Mason McCombs. In the second spot, it's going to be Vince McMahon. In the third, Kyle Newhouse. In the fourth, Danny. And in the fifth, it's going to be James Tate. All right, guys, we're all on the lines. There we go. Let's see if Mason can pull the TQ and win. All right, everyone on the horns. Less than 5. And we're off. Oh, and who is that upside down? I think. Let's see who that was. And that is Vince McMahon right there in the lead. James Tate right there in the second. Danny in the third. Kyle Newhouse in the fourth. And James Tate or Mason in the fifth. And there's your leader right there, Vince McMahon. We call him the sleeper, coming down that and crossing the line right now with a big lead. James Tate right there in the second. Danny though right behind James Tate trying to get up in the second. Mason right there in the fourth. And Danny is right. I'm sorry, wrong car. Kyle Newhouse is in the third, coming up right behind James Tate. And that is Kyle Newhouse there right there behind James Tate. And Kyle Newhouse moves up in the second, James Tate in the third. And then Mason right there in the fourth. Now Danny's starting to catch. Vince McMahon right there with a big lead. Oh, we have a wreck right there. And that was Kyle Newhouse now down in the fourth, Mason in the third, but James Tate right there in the second. And then Mason trying to pull the inside. And Mason now moves up into the second. James Tate down in the third. 3:25 to go. And Danny right there in the fifth. And Vince McMahon right there with a... Oh, and that is James Tate. Oh, Kyle Newhouse is waiting for him. Mason right there in the second. James Tate in the third. Kyle Newhouse in the fourth, but Kyle there right behind him. Now Danny down now moving up to that to try to get in that third position. He is coming up right behind James Tate and Kyle Newhouse, and there they go. James, Kyle, and Danny down the back straight, crossing the line. Look at Vince McMahon. What a big lead right now, but Mason now starting to catch. We got 2:30 on the clock. And James Tate right there in that third. Kyle in the fourth right behind him. And Danny there coming up in the fifth now right behind them too as well. Danny right now is about 3 seconds back off James Tate and Kyle Newhouse for that third spot. Getting closer to that 2-minute mark. And 2 minutes on the clock, guys. 2 minutes to go. Up next will be the final race, stock truck. Come get your transponders if you need one. There you go, bud. Oh, and look at this. Mason McCombs just 2 seconds off the leader now behind Vince McMahon. Vince had that big lead, but Mason all the way from the back in that crash in the beginning now moving. Oh, and there he is coming up right behind him. And there's your leader. There's your two leaders right there, Vince and Mason crossing the line. Mason right there coming up right behind Vince McMahon. There they go over the double right there. We have a battle now for the lead. It is Vince, Mason, Kyle Newhouse, Danny, and James Tate running order. And right now we got that 1 minute to go, 1 minute mark. And there's the battle right there for the lead. Vince McMahon and Mason McCombs. Vince right there. Oh, and Vince upside down. Mason now moves up into the lead. Oh, and Mason upside down. No, is that Mason upside down? No, wrong car. There's your leader, Mason McCombs, and also your TQ holder from round number 1. And Vince now 6 seconds off that leader with 25 seconds to go. It is Mason, Vince, and Kyle Newhouse. That is the running order. Ten seconds to go. And James Tate and Danny right now battling it out for that fourth position. And race is over. When you cross, you're done. And there is Mason McCombs taking the TQ and win at the end. Danny in the fourth. Vince McMahon taking second. James Tate taking the fifth. And Kyle Newhouse taking the third. Mason McCombs coming back all the way from the back to take the win and the TQ. Vince McMahon taking the second, and Kyle Newhouse taking the third. Good race. And then Danny has bragging rights over James Tate, who won.
Is that the last one? There's the last one.
This is the last one.
You got any transponders that need to go out? No, you have my clothes.
No, I already have one.
Okay.
Mason,
I'm gonna close the window.
can you do the pictures for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna come do the medals, but you already did it. You already had me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I always use. I know. I usually have them all done.
So how are you feeling? Okay. Yeah. Tired.
But we've been doing so much stuff at the house.
All right, stocks truck. Here we go.
Did he show you pictures of it?
She's hanging out with all the girls, not all drinking, hanging out with rats. John and Marty? Really? Wow. Oh, I thought you were going on an older woman.
Doesn't have a picture of the,
All right, just waiting for Vince and Keith Shivers to check in.
mirror, it's one of the nightstands. I looked up just the dresser. Just the dresser alone is used as $9.50.
Hey, can I get one more, guys, in the back corner? Is there a volunteer I can get in the back corner? Thanks,
The
buddy.
bed is like used 1800.
Yeah, go out there, Bobby,
And then
go
it's
come out.
got another,
I already got one.
Oh, okay.
If Bobby wants to also put another hand out
and
there,
then
it'd be
marble
good.
top, it's real marble. Cause Louis, Ron's husband.
That's coming out. James Tate in the back corner, and we got it.
That's what Louis does for a living.
All right.
He works with marble. And when he was
All right, guys, let's get him gridded up. Let's get him gridded up.
piece of marble is at least $700 just to replace it. He said, "I have a
All right, guys, here we go. In that very first spot today with a qualifying time of 15 laps and 5:18 in round number 1, Keith Shivers. In the second spot, it's going to be Vince McMahon.
The arm lock.
In the third, Scott Setzer.
You're gonna have to let me know
It's
when
like the side of this wall.
Yeah.
it's done.
It's beautiful.
The wall fits a 50-inch flat screen inside it.
In the fourth, it's going to be Ina Ganick.
Now you're gonna have to let me
Plenty
know.
of drawers for the corner.
In the fifth, Jason Wagner.
Because I get tired of it.
And in that final spot, it's going to be John Daniels.
Yeah, that one little TV stand thing, that's just too filled for all of
Yeah.
What do you mean? You don't want people to see what?
It's Ina in the fourth, Jason in the fifth.
It was Al or one of those.
Did you see that look? She's like,
I was like,
your porn? I was
I thought it was Al's collection.
like, it's dusty. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
dusty
You know why?
collection. Because you don't do
No, as soon as I put the cable box in, I have Playboy. Okay? And then the other thing is, I have not hooked up the cable
And he's in that final spot, Mason. Yeah.
DVD player.
I
Hit the Playboy channel.
think she's porn.
All right, we got them all gridded up. All right, guys, here we go. This is the last race of Thursday Night Thunder. All right, guys, here we go. Let's see what happens. Keith Shiver took the lead, took the TQ in 15-5-18 in round number 1. He is going for the TQ and win. Here we go. Race number 4, last race. Stock truck. Everyone on the horn. Lesson 5. And we're off. Let's see what happens. And Vince McMahon now pulls out with a big lead. And it looks like Scott Setzer right there. Oh, in the second, and Keith Shivers in the third. Jason Wagner in the fourth, and Ina in the fifth, and John in the sixth. And there's Vince right there crossing the line. There comes Keith and Scott. Keith right there in the second, and Scott in the third. And Ena right there coming down in the fourth. Jason Wagner in that fifth. Oh, and Ena right there caught on the pipe. Oh, and we have a lead change. No, sorry, wrong truck, wrong car. Vince McMahon still holding that lead. Keith Shivers right there in the second. Keith now trying to catch Vince McMahon. Keith was the TQ holder from round number 1. We got one down, 4 minutes to go.
Your white is white.
I've been told I was a Mexican all my life.
My grandson looks like Guatemala.
I know Phoenix looks like some kind of Indian.
You don't look white.
He looks Pakistani.
Yeah. No, you look you wear
Vince McMahon right now with a huge lead. Scott Setzer right there in the second, and Keith Shivers in the third. There's your battle right there between 2 and 3. Keith Shivers, Scott Setzer, he's in the all blue. Keith in the yellow and orange. Your leader right there with the flames and burgundy with the checkerboard. That's your leader. Ena right there in the fifth in the purple and white. Jason Wagner in the blue and yellow. And John Daniels in the sixth. He's in the all blue with the black rims. Oh, and we got right there Keith Shivers. Or no, looks like. I don't know. We got something going on. Let's see. All right, everything's still the same right now. Scott Setzer right there in the second. And Scott Setzer right now starting to catch Vince McMahon. Then it come down the back straight. Scott right there in some traffic. And, oh, and he hits the top of that jump, and he's upside down. He's only a few seconds back behind Vince McMahon. As soon as Scott can get around there on that one car, there they come down the back straight. And right now we got 2 minutes to go. And Jason lets him go by. Vince right now. Now Vince and Scott are in the open.
Where'd that come from?
Vince, though, right now is dialed. He is holding his line. Scott Setzer, upside down. And then the turn marshal got him, so he's just right back up and going, so didn't knock him back too bad. And Keith Shivers now moves up into the second, and Scott Setzer down in the third. And there's your battle right there now between 2 and 3. Oh, and Keith Shivers rolls it, and he takes it right back. Oh, and your leader right there on the wall, but he got out of it. Less than 1 to go, guys. Less than 1 to go. Here it is. 1 minute on the clock. This is where you make your move. Keith Shivers in the yellow and orange right there in the second. Scott Setzer in the all blue in the third with the yellow rims. Scott's in the blue and the yellow rims. And there's the leader right there. Jason Wagner in the fifth, but Ena Ganick in the fourth. 30 seconds to go. Vince McMahon right there holding a good-sized lead in this race. About a half. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. And the race is over. When you cross, you're done. Scott Setzer taking the third. Vince McMahon taking the win. And there he comes. When he crosses, Keith Shivers is going to be taking the second and also taking home the TQ. And Ena Ganick taking the fourth. Jason taking the fifth. And there comes John right there. John Daniel across. He'll be taking that final spot. Race is over. Good race, guys. Vince McMahon taking the win. Keith Shivers taking TQ in second, and Scott taking third. All right, guys. Allie's going to be coming out there with the awards and taking the pictures.
No,
You can do it with your phone.
I'm gonna do it off the iPad.
Oh, okay.
So I can upload it. What was that?
You always have something. No, it wasn't bad. It's just the way you skipped in the air. We thought you were like, maybe a rainbow picture. Okay, yeah, I'll let her know that one. It's close enough. You got announcements. Good talking to you. Come in again. A little upset. A little angry.
Is he?
She made fun of him when he just jumped over one of the bikes like a little wagon, so she's mad at her.
But he can make fun of me when I fall and bust my face.
All right, Allie's coming out there now.
Not a moment of dullness. I can tell you that right now. You racing Saturday yet? You racing Saturday?
Probably Mayo, but
Thanks, buddy.
Mayo's early in the morning, though, right?
yeah, but Mayo gets rained out.
All right, guys, let's do this. Bring them on up. Ready to run. Jason Wagner to the podium. Matt to the podium. And John. All right, Jason Wagner taking the TQ and win today.
Yeah, it's going back to
Matt taking second.
race fee, they'll give you a dollar piece.
That's why they have a shoe box.
And John Daniels taking the third.
I'll give you half price. I pay $2, I give you a dollar piece one. So if you want to pay for your race fees, bring me your medals. I need them, really. If you come to Saturday, bring as many medals as you got. I'll even buy it in cash for you. Because I need them. I got to order them anyway.
All right, next up is going to be Indy Buggy.
I just asked John, they were driving down for the keys and they had friends.
Jason Hall taking the TQ and win in Indy Buggy. Scott Setzer taking second. And Ina taking third. Stock Buggy, pull them on up. Mason McCombs, Vince McMahon, and Kyle Newhouse. Mason McCombs taking TQ and win today. Vince McMahon taking second. And Kyle Newhouse taking third. Stock truck, you guys can pull him to the podium. Vince is already out there. Keith Shivers and Scott Setzer. All right, Vince McMahon taking the win in stock truck. Keith Shivers taking TQ and second. And Scott Setzer taking third. All right, guys, that is it. Thank everybody for coming out. We'll see you. Doubleheader Saturday, Superstar Saturday. Remember, off-road race registration 11. Racing starts at 12. Loose dirt oval in the back will be race registration 4:30, and racing starts at 5:30. Remember, Super Cup 5 on July 13th, and make sure you check New Red Hobbies and Friends of New Red Hobbies on Facebook for the pit details. Their pit spaces are on there. All right, guys, that's it. You guys have a good day. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you Saturday.